Hello and welcome to Money Matters. Stock markets around the world have defied wave after wave of COVID spikes, with the Dow and S&P 500 both hitting all-time highs. Hong Kong's market hasn't had as strong a run, but Chinese tech counters have been snapped up until a recent correction. As we say goodbye to the first quarter, we have two analysts go head-to-head with their investment choices for what many hope is a bright second quarter.
Returning to the program is analyst Daniel So, whose stock choice from last month's head-to-head was the only one to hit its target price. Daniel's first stock choice in this round is camera module maker Sunny Optical, stock code 2382. Sunny is a leading maker of handset modules and cameras for all manner of devices requiring a camera of some kind, particularly mobile smartphones. Daniel says the company will see growth driven by multiple factors in 2021, including a smartphone sales recovery.
Driven by the 5G rollout, driving the replacement demand for smartphones, and also the sales recovery post-pandemic. And the 5G rollout would also encourage the upgrade in components, which would boost the ASP or the margin for Sunny Opticals. And the second driver is company-specific. Sunny is expected to gain market share from some of its competitors.
Sunny is also expected to take a batch of new orders from Apple, the maker of the iPhone, some of which sport 3 camera lenses on a single model. Yet more good news comes from the improving car market, currently enjoying a post-pandemic bump in sales. Vehicle cameras are all the rage and should see Sunny benefit as car makers ramp up production. However, the company will face some hurdles along with many makers of anything requiring microchips.
One of the risks is a shortage in the supply of semiconductor components, which may affect its production in its lens. But this risk has been priced in by the market, given that the shortage in the semiconductor components has been there for a while. When the risk eases gradually, then the sector will have digested this risk and the share price would actually rebound.
Another risk is a continued disruption in demand if the coronavirus infection rate continues to spike, even as the distribution of vaccines continues to expand. A slow take-up of jabs could cut or delay demand for Sunny client products. Daniel sets a target price of $210 and a stop loss at $159. Daniel's second choice is global pork producer WH Group, stock code 288. Daniel says the company has operations in China, Europe, and the U.S. The company suffered an earnings setback in 2020, missing market estimates due to some exceptional expenses and losses in the U.S. business. Daniel says he expects things to turn around as COVID fades from our collective investment memory.
In China, its profit is expected to maintain stable growth, moderate growth. And overall, we expect its adjusted net profits this year would rebound by 45% year over year and actually set a record high. But this share price is quite low, still 30% below its peak, historical peak, and its expected PE is only around 9 times.
Its turnaround story still has not been priced into its shares, and Daniel says it's a pretty good bargain at current levels. The main risk to the company in the near term is the outlook for the U.S. business. It's not clear yet if there will be any expenses connected with the pandemic in the first half. Daniel sets a target price of $7.50 and a stop loss of $5.90. Challenging Daniel is investment director Patrick Poon. Patrick's first choice is property management firm Country Garden Services, stock code 6098. The company manages a variety of property sectors and saw profit rise 61% in 2020 to 2.68 billion yuan. Though commercial management is its core business, the company isn't limited to that sector.
These stocks, they are quite all-rounded because for the property management, they cover different areas, including the residential, shopping center, office, hospital, schools, public urban management, and the the park, individual park.
A recent acquisition of another management firm should boost revenue by more than 10%. While it trades at a premium to its peer group, its return on equity is very high at more than 20%. CG Services faces the risk of policy changes, a common risk of many firms on the mainland.
If the China government is going to tighten the property policy, it may affect the delivery chain on the upside. So we have to beware. But I don't think they will tighten up the policy more in the coming this year.
Patrick sets a target price at $88 and a stop loss of $69. Patrick's second stock is A-Living Services, stock code 3319, another multi-sector property services company. A-Living has jumped on the consolidation bandwagon in the industry and has recently acquired companies that will help it boost its already robust performance.
The PE is very low. It's about 2021 PE is about 17. So, but the return on equity also is very attractive too. It's more than 20% the return on equity, and they have been acquiring some new management services assets into the group in 4 areas, including the Beijing and Dalian, and also other areas like Anhui. So with these new acquisitions, I think they can increase a lot with the coming revenues. So the present profits last year has been very good. It's been up by 42.5% to 1.75 billion, which is better than expected, much better than expected. So I think this property has a very much upside potential.
Patrick thinks A-Living faces the same risks as his previous choice, CG Services, changing policy out of Beijing. He sets a target price at $50 and a stop loss of $32. We'll review Daniel and Patrick's stock picks in 1 month to see who comes back to go head-to-head. And since we always appreciate our analysts' advice on the outlook, here's what each of them will look for on the investment horizon in the second half. Patrick says, be wary of silver linings in the global growth forecast. The actual result may end up tarnishing expectations.
It's because, as we can see, there's every major country has been quite looking positive towards their GDP growth. But I think we need to look into it whether it will be the same as expected. If it's slower than expected, then I think that will be not very good for the stock market, because we've been expecting too much higher than the actual situation. And also the U.S. 10 years debt, the interest we have to beware of this one, because if it's going to go up to 2% per annum, then which is a level will trigger some selling on the stock market too. So we need to beware of this one.
Daniel, on the other hand, means to keep a keen eye on monetary policy in the U.S. and on the mainland.
How the Fed officials would react to some economic data, especially the inflation data, and how they would assure the markets would be the key for the global market. And also in China, the expected inflation will also go up. And in China, I think investors would expect some monetary tightening or less accommodative in the second quarter.
The City of London, or simply, the city. A year of pandemic has done the financial hub no favors. When it began, nearly 540,000 workers vanished almost overnight from the business hub, and most haven't returned. And yet, many see the disruption as a chance to reinvent the city and counter the new COVID-inspired work-from-home model. Firms have recently stated they plan a return to an office-centric culture, even though many studies have suggested that more flexible working policies and increased remote working are here to stay. A January report on London's future said companies did not plan to abandon the capital and that many wanted to improve the quality of their office space to encourage more employees to return and use it. The developer of 8 Bishopsgate believes the new generation skyscraper can meet this wish and entice companies back to the office with huge food halls, gyms, and expanded floor space to ease infection worries.
I'd also suggest that the better quality buildings will do very well, and therefore what you'll end up with is a two-tiered market where older buildings are discounted considerably because they can't cater for the needs of the next generation of the workforce, whereas buildings like 8 Bishopsgate and many other new developments coming through will have that information to be able to make it adaptable and flexible for the workforce.
Development managers say clients have focused much more on the quality of the space for their staff and want flexibility about how they take the space and what they'll need.
There's still an uncertainty there. No business can really answer that question yet. And being more and more focused on what the building can do for you rather than just taking a lease and having a front door with your logo on it.
COVID-19 also has accelerated London's plans to make the financial district a more diverse place with room for bicycles and pedestrians, more open-minded about flexible working, and an area that gives people a reason to stay after work. The workers' return will be crucial for the survival of many shops and restaurants like this one, whose 6 branches have remained shut after foot traffic in the city disappeared.
There will be a good number of people that will continue to work from home or a good part of their week work from home. And we're going to see how the new world looks like, but we're going to give it a shot and see if we can survive and if we can keep afloat in that environment.
Coming up on Money Matters, how our gas provider has entered the 21st century tech era. Stay with us. Welcome back to Money Matters. Cutting-edge camera technology and AI are everywhere in our daily lives. Recently, Hong Kong's gas provider adopted similar technology to improve its safety inspection process, offering millions of customers shorter inspection times and more accurate reporting. The increased efficiency could well bring costs down and reduce the disruption associated with routine inspections.
Pipelines transporting gas for cooking and heating are typically manufactured and installed on the outside of buildings to reduce the chances of seepage due to corrosion of these vertical pipes, known to the professionals as risers. Town Gas sends technicians to inspect them every 18 months. On-site inspection inside households has been suspended during the pandemic.
When we visit customers, we may not gain entrance to all of the homes. We won't be able to check those risers outside. Even when we're inside a home, the position of a riser may make it difficult for us to inspect. If we aren't able to check it, there's nothing we can do.
Outside the domestic household, inspections of gas pipe outside buildings used to be done using simple tools like an extended mirror or binoculars. Since 2015, technicians started using aerial drones and more recently, an auto-tracking camera to capture images. This auto-tracking camera is set up on a tripod with an automatic tilting head and equipped with a high-zoom autofocus camera and also laser detector to spot methane gas seepage. The auto head is developed by the company's own technicians.
This head is from our own program so that we can film a pipeline from top to bottom automatically. In our riser line inspection, the biggest problem is the capture speed and clarity of images. With this automatic process, we're getting a result with better accuracy.
To use this camera, a technician needs to first measure the distance between the camera and the building. then input the data into the head and adjust the angle to make sure the pipelines are within the range of the camera. Once started, the camera will then automatically capture the image of the whole pipeline outside the building. Because rust and cracks may appear behind a pipe, the technician then needs to reposition the camera to capture another clip.
Put simply, rust will only appear slowly. We can see it if they're in front of a pipe. When we suspect there may be rust behind, we will turn it to a 45-degree angle and capture again from both sides, and feed it into the system to determine the level of seepage.
Using this new technology, the company has already inspected pipelines for more than 40,000 households. With so much data for analysis, Chung says his company started using an artificial intelligence system last year. By typing in just the address of a household, the system creates a report automatically.
With this AI system, we can save all the clips in it. It will then generate a report. The report tells me the severity of the rusting. Whether it's level 1, 2, 3, or 4, we've got different tasks to do. At level 4, for example, we need to shut down the gas supply immediately to ensure safety. At level 3, rusting may require repairs. We would then submit a bill to the building management to replace the pipe.
Since adopting AI in the inspection and reporting, the processing time has been vastly reduced, from 1 to 2 weeks in the past to just 3 to 4 days now. Each report comes with photos of the pipeline outside each household, so the owner has a better grasp of the situation.
Whether it's level 1, 2, 3, or 4, we capture a photo and show them how serious the corrosion is. This cuts down doubts about the riser's condition since you can't see it from that far away. But via a long-distance camera, the riser is captured and everyone then knows the condition immediately. A picture tells 1,000 stories.
Because other external factors may affect the image and the assessment, Zheng says the AI system now offers only 85% accuracy. While it may be sufficient at the moment, he says they'll improve the AI for better accuracy.
We're now at over 85%, but if we want even better results in accuracy, we can provide deep learning for the system, such as feeding wrong information to the training module to improve its accuracy.
While inspection can help prevent gas leakage, monitoring air quality is just as important. About 30% of the air is made of methane. The camera has also got a laser methane detector installed to spot leakage of the gas. An alarm will ring to alert the technician of a danger.
While inspecting a certain location, we can detect methane levels. Since the gas mainly contains methane, when we have a reason to suspect seepage, we can send someone up to the household and check for seepage, and then carry out any necessary repairs.
Art in the form of non-fungible tokens have exploded in popularity and value as they have appeared on digitally encrypted channels. But a New York art gallery is seeking to bring the art form into the analog world. The space, called the Super Chief Gallery, has opened what its founder, Ed Zipko, says is the first physical and permanent NFT gallery space in the world. Buyers can now see what it is like to live with a piece of NFT art, mixing the digital and the physical.
This work back here by Mashka is a painting that actually exists physically, and we've taken it, and that has been made digital and been made to spin, so they can get either the NFT version of this painting or they can pick up the physical painting itself at our gallery in Soho.
Located in Manhattan, the gallery has brought in $150,000 from its first week of sales, paid in cryptocurrency Ethereum. Buyers and artists can buy NFT art knowing they're protected against unlimited copying by blockchain ledgers that allow anyone to verify the ownership and authenticity of digital art items. Superchief is currently featuring the work of 5 artists per day through the end of May. A total of 300 artists will be featured. Like much of the NFT world, Superchief is relying on cryptocurrencies like Ethereum for its sales.
To purchase an NFT, you need a crypto wallet, and we are selling these with Ethereum. So Ethereum is worth roughly, at this time, it's about $2,000, maybe $2,100 per one Ethereum. And we've been selling pieces that are additions that range from 0.25 Ethereum to one of ones that went to auction that sold at about 10 Ethereum. And the percentage breakdown for NFTs is really wonderful and geared towards artist support, which is 85% to the artist.
Indeed, artists showing at Superchief were drawn there by the chance to break new ground. Cody Kennedy says NFTs really show what is coming next, just as the telephone, the television, the automobile, and the smartphone brought in tremendous changes after they were introduced. And talking of change, he hopes his work can trigger a change in attitude about race in America.
This piece is from the series In the Service of a Villain, and I use video and quote-unquote traditional methods of painting, sculpture, to tell a narrative of the future, a possible future, if the future is based off the mass media that we put out today. And you have a lot of mythological archetypes come into the work. You have the current embodiment of if the Jim Crow era of America was personified and gave physical form. You have the myth that was that's put forth by news agencies and mass media about the thug, about young Black youth being thugs, a catch-all term.
That's the show. Thanks for watching. Next week on Money Matters, plant-based alternative proteins, such as lab-made meat, have gone mainstream. Your next burger at your favorite fast food outlet may be serving meat that was grown, not raised. See you then. Good night.